of Fame breakfast. We inducted our 79th and 80th inductee into the USA Racquetball Hall of Fame. So what a monumental occasion. I thank you all for being here. Just a little update on what we've been doing since last year. Our biggest news this year is that USA Racquetball received recognized as outstanding after with the USOPC, that's the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee. And so we are very excited about that. We have another few years but we are currently a national governing body in so yay. Lots of work with our legislative committee and our board in making that happen, and we are very excited for that. I also, really big exciting news is that we were accepted as a sport in the 2027 Pan American Games in Lima, Peru. That is our Olympics. So we are very excited. We are the Lindsey Vonns of the Pan American Games. We will have no broken legs. We will have no flipping upside down, but we are the stars in the Pan American Games. This year, we had multiple international events in Bench 2025. We had our teams go to Guatemala, Chengdu, China, and our juniors just in December went to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. If any of you missed the outcomes in those three international matches, shame on you, because they were stunning. So in the room, we have Miss Naomi Ross, who actually made gold in both the adults in Chengdu, China in mixed doubles and in juniors, Santo Domingo, 21 and under, in for our worlds in Santo Domingo. So congratulations, Naomi, living in two worlds. This year, coming up in 2 weeks, we have our National High School Championships. That's going to be in February, the last week of February. We're very excited. Last week of March, we will be back in Minneapolis, Minnesota for our National Intercollegiates and our National Juniors Championships, which decides their qualifiers for our juniors, is going to take place in Des Moines, Iowa this year. So we have a lot going on, lots of opportunities for you all to watch the streaming. Come out and support our kids if you are near those places, or support our teams. Please, it is exciting racquetball at the younger level, just like we're seeing here. We do also this year have outdoor under our World Outdoor Racquetball component of USA Racquetball. The second week in March is Beach Bash in Hollywood, Florida. If you ever want to get a tan while playing racquetball, that is the place to go, because you are literally in the ocean, pool. And Outdoor Nationals is going to be held the second weekend in July in Huntington Beach, California. Not right on the ocean, but close enough to feel the sea air. So, again, many, many opportunities. I am so excited to say, I kind of see what people put out on social media, and I am excited to tell you racquetball is thriving. Last year at this tournament, we had 177 participants in the National Indoor Tournament. This year, we have 212 in 1 year. That is a 17% increase. And it is because of all the players in the room, the people who support the players in the room. There is a lot going on, and I really hope you all take part in 26 and beyond, supporting racquetball and rooting with us. Also follow us on social media, because that's a lot of fun. I am going to, let's move forward. Here are the 25-26 U.S. Adult National Team members. Kudos to them. These are the people who were successful in the adult team qualifier in Pleasanton, California last year. You will be seeing the updated list after Sunday for the adult team qualifier for the 26-27 adult team. Go ahead. We are going to start with our awards. And first up is our Peggy Stedding Female Age Group Athlete of the Year, who is Susie Bollinger from Arizona. Come on up, Susie. Would you like to say a few words?
A few.
Very few.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm honored and surprised to get this award. I have to thank my partners, who are all amazing. Arthur, Damien, who grimaces every time I ask him to play. Lisa Boo, 10 years, she's been my partner. Lauren, Sonia. And I have to thank my coaches, Daryl, Karen, Michelle, who have been working tirelessly to fix my self-taught garbage. My poor swing, my poor footwork, all of it. So thank you. I really appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Congratulations, Susie. And as you can see, Susie has a very impressive record up here on the screen, and that's just what she's done in the last year. Our second award winner for the Dr. Bud Muehlheisen Male Age Group Athlete of the Year again this year is Tyrone Gilmore. Come on up, Tyrone, coming out of Texas. Another impressive record on the screen. You need to say a few words.
I have to say a few
You
words.
have to say a few words.
Well, I left my notebook back there, though, but I'll
No,
try.
you don't have that many words to say. Just a few.
That's true. I try not to put a lot into it. First of all, thank you to all the sponsors. And when I say sponsors, you have to think of that in a broad category, right down to the folks that we've all been at one time, a referee. They've got a dirty job, and we have to get it done. But most importantly, I want to thank the staff for putting this together, the tournaments that we have the opportunity to attend, as well as the supporters. And I don't have a single coach. I have a family of a coach. And that's maybe why I've got the record I got. But without them, this sport would not be as prosperous as it is today. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that attended. Thank you to all of you that play, especially to my opponents, whether you beat me or you lost against me. You helped me and you become my coaches. So thank you again, and thank you.
Our next award winner, we've already kind of called out. The Female Athlete of the Year, for all the reasons I mentioned earlier, is Miss Naomi Ross from Texas. And just so you know, in case you didn't hear me say it the first time, she is the first female athlete to sit on both the adult and junior national teams at the same time. Kudos to you.
Well, thank you, everyone. I actually wrote something, but I'm going to cry. Okay. Wait, I get it.
Do you want me to hold this while you find it?
Yes, I found it. Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm deeply honored to receive this award. I would have to say, sport has changed my life. And changed me as a person. For those who don't know, at the age of 15, I decided to move to San Antonio, Texas, to live with my grandma, away from my parents. And everything I always knew I left behind because it was going to be easier to play the LPRTL inside Accra and Splat-Hit. This was a huge sacrifice that forged my character. There were days that I would just want to go back home. Also, this does not only represent all the hard work I have done on the court, but as well the hours of studying, working a part-time job, and going to school. How God is good. I call to him not for a title, but seeking strength, calm, enjoying, especially on the court while I was struggling, enjoying matches. But in reality, the only validation I needed was his. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. Of course, this would be not possible without my family and sponsors, Accra, Southern, Perkinex, Team Dutchell, Racquetball, and Power to the Strings. Thank you, Team USA.
Does anybody have any more eyeliner? I think mine's gone. Our male athlete of the year is going to Mr. Jake Bredenbeck out of Minnesota. We all know Jake well. Jake, unfortunately, could not be here this morning. It's my understanding Pablo Farge is accepting on his behalf. And now I'm hoping Pablo Farge knew that.
Jake says thank you. He's very happy with this award.
And you can see also Jake had a very impressive record of wins. No, I'm sorry. Cheryl and I should have practiced, right? Dry run. I think they do that for the Oscars. Anyway, now we are up to a really great award. Our presidential award this year is going to Terry Rogers, who has been with Cal Neva for years and is a recent relocator to Buffalo, New York. These are home down to her roots, and has purchased probably a lot of new parkas, puffies, and sweaters. As you can see, Terry has an amazing record of contributions to racquetball.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is a great honor to receive this award. I know it's not given every year, so it's really special. Yes, I have been involved on boards since 1988, so it's been quite a journey. I did recently have to retire from the California board because I did move, but I'm still serving in the advisory capacity, so I'm not completely off the board. This is, like I said, quite an honor. That was my significant other who passed away several years ago. We worked together. When he did pass away, I continued on, but just recently it was time to move on back home and be with my family for the duration of my time on Earth. Thank you.
I just want to say a big hearty congratulations to all of our award winners who bring so much to this sport. And there they all are, your 2025 annual award winners. Moving on in our program, we are going to start acknowledging our Hall of Fame inductees. Remember, I said they are numbers 79 and 80. So there's not as many for all the years that racquetball has been played. So it is a very prestigious honor to be inducted into the USA Racquetball Hall of Fame. And I would like to start with a short video of our first inductee, Miss Rhonda Rajsich. And to introduce Rhonda, as only he can, we have Mr. Jim Winterton. You may have the podium. This will get you out of having to go to Mass tomorrow. It is a holy day of obligation right here.
Okay. First of all, may I ask that any current member of the Hall of Fame please stand up? Any current member or inductee? All right. So I'm the only one? Come on, I got Ruben, Ed. What's kind of a deja vu moment, Rhonda and I, every U.S. Open, every Nationals, we went to the Hall of Fame inductions because of the, we know that anybody like Ed or Ruben, any of these people, thank you, spent hours and hours on the court, pain, the heartache of losing close matches, and the thrill of winning the same thing. It's something I never tire of. My wife wants me to quit. I can't quit. I love this sport. I love it. One of my current young coaches, his name is Kane. You may have heard of him. We sat in the airport after juniors this year, and we coached against each other. I won, by the way. Controversial referees called voidable hinder. Yeah. He called it engaged coaching. We're engaged with the players we coach. We love the players we coach. And that's the same. I get to introduce a Hall of Fame rock star. All right. Rhonda, record is amazing. You saw it, 71% of her matches and so on and so on. But her legacy is much more than winning matches. From many athletes, I heard this over and over. I asked for contributions from the LPRT and from junior players and from players in general. If people come into town, do I get to hit with Rhonda Rajsich? Do you know her? Is she around? And she's always there, and when she can, and her schedule permits it, she always hits with anybody. Just last week, I had a guy come in, and will I get to hit with Rhonda? Rhonda showed up 15 minutes later for her lesson with me, and he got to hit with her and so on. From the LPRT commissioner, TJ Bamba, Rhonda never missed a sponsor event, was the ultimate professional, understood the importance of giving back to the game. This is so typical. I'm going to mention, where's Brian? Brian Crosser and his family. His daughter, could you stand up back there, right? I don't mean to pick on you. I don't even know you, but she's typical of the young girls that Rhonda has inspired. This is from one of the kids that I coach in St. Louis. I met Rhonda through my dad, and I never met her in person. She sent me videos and was kind to me just because I sent her an email. But many people I heard from, yesterday someone said to me, you know, it was my first tournament, and everybody acted like they were the king of the mountain or something, or queen of the mountain, whatever. And she took time to talk to me. She was humble. The story of her attack in 2008, where she was told she couldn't play in the Worlds because the Worlds were in like 60 some days, and she was in the hospital undergoing surgeries. And not only did she play in it, she won the Worlds that year in 2008. All right. I got many other messages from people, and they all said the same thing. The ultimate professional. This is from her competitors, the people that she played on the tour for many years. She's been like a daughter to me, but lately people say she's been more like a granddaughter to me. One last message. Congratulations, Rhonda. You inspired me at a young age to push myself. I have so much respect for you as one of the greatest women that ever played the sport of racquetball. You will always be my toughest rival. But I appreciate the respect we've had for each other off and on the court. You deserve this honor. Congrats, champ. And that's from Paula Longoria. So when someone achieves rock star status, they go by one name, right? You got Cher, you got Madonna, and you got Rhonda. Congratulations, Rhonda Rajsich.
I gotta follow that. When I found out this was happening a couple decades too early, but I couldn't think of anyone I'd be more honored to be introduced by than Coach Winterton. Pretty sure I met him for the first time when I was about 6, and my father played his first nationals in Houston, and by the time I was 14, I was trying to make the junior U.S. team, and he was the coach around that time. And I just remember something that set off a connection. I'm sure he won't remember this. But we were walking back from dinner to the dorms at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. And Coach and the other coaches were driving by in the car. And he asked me, "Do you want to ride?" I said, "No, I'll walk it." And he just kind of slowed down and he rolled the window down a little more and he looked at me and he goes, "I like that," and kept driving. But there was an understanding in that interaction, and it stuck with me. And of the 180 years that I've been playing racquetball now, he's been with me every step of the way. I get asked a lot, how did I get started in racquetball? And at 2 years old, my parents joined the health club. I snuck out of the nursery, and I would find which court my father was on, and I would run up and steal his racket in between games. And then he'd catch me and, "What are you doing out here? Where's your mother? Give the big people the racket back." I'd kind of toss it at him, and then I'd run away so I didn't get stuck back in the nursery again. I'd go hide on the basketball court. And that was when I knew that I didn't want to play with the Legos and the blocks. I wanted to play racquetball, and I wanted to play basketball. And that is essentially what I did with my life. And racquetball happened to be the thing that I was able to turn to when basketball took a detour. And like I said, I went to my first nationals to watch my father play when I was 6. And that left a tremendous impression on me. And I remember feeling like, I want to do this. I want to win nationals. At 11, first of all, my dad wouldn't let me play tournaments till I was 10. I don't know why. He had some dumb double-digit rule that like I couldn't play tournaments yet until I was 10. So then by the time I did get into a tournament, I felt so far behind. I got my ass absolutely handed to me by Vanessa Taleo in Dallas at Junior Nationals, my very first junior trip. And I was grateful because immediately she and I became besties and eventually doubles partners and eventually won a bunch of matches together and made the junior U.S. team. And I know this is going to sound arrogant, but I don't mean it in an arrogant way, and you'll see why in a moment. But should this day have ever arrived, that nationals on the flight home is when I started rehearsing this speech, this Hall of Fame speech. Not because I knew I was going to make it, but because if I did, I knew that this moment is not mine alone. It truly takes a village. And at 11, I started a list of people that I wanted to make sure that I thanked on this day. Again, 180 years later, that list has gotten a lot longer, and we would be here for the next 3 banquets in the next 3 years if I was going to try to read all those names. But I will make sure to always thank the people that that contributed to me standing up here today. Because, okay, first of all, I didn't know any of those numbers. I didn't know those percentages. I didn't know the stats. I didn't know any of that. That was all news to me. Wow, it has really been 180 years. But there's no way that I would be here without everyone who supported me, who taught me, who shaped me, who tolerated me, and who invested in me. There's a whole lot of people in these last 3 tables right here that are here, that it says a very eclectic community, but every single one of them and tons more have had something to do with why I'm standing here today. So I just want to be clear that while I'm exceptionally grateful and honored to have this opportunity of being alongside this incredible list of names and talent that have exemplified excellence and achievement and growth in our sport, this award is not actually about me. It's about everyone who rose the tide for my ship to ride it to this point. And I cannot thank all of you enough, everyone who's here, everyone who can't be here, everyone who has moved on. I've been to 27 different countries for no reason. I never had a vacation. I've been to 27 different countries for racquetball. It's taken me across the world. Hat tip to Chief, because she asked me that at breakfast one day on a team trip. Where have you been? And I had to sit there and count, and it took a lot longer than I thought, but it's 27 different countries. some of them multiple times. I have 5 titanium plates in my face. And the night that that happened, that night that I was attacked, I'm pretty sure that in some way racquetball kept me alive. And by that I mean our sport is fast. I mean, the ball's moving almost 200 miles an hour every time we swing at it. And in a fraction of a second, I had to decide how I'm going to handle this as I'm getting pummeled in my face and head. And my reflex was not fight, not flight, and not freeze. It was an evaluation because I had nanoseconds to decide, am I going to swing back and escalate, or am I going to see what happens next and defend myself only if I have to? In a lot of ways, Worlds was the reason I didn't hit back. I did not want to break my hand on his dumb, stupid face and not be able to hold my racket and represent my country a month later. Not only that, but obviously in the hospital, no point am I thinking that I'm not going to Worlds. Of course I'm going to go, right? Doctors, coaches, parents, friends, loved ones, understandably all just genuinely concerned, and I appreciate that. But I'm grateful that I found a way to go, and I found a way to win. That night of getting attacked gave me so much more than it took from me. I've had over a dozen, probably close to 20 now, subsequent surgeries and procedures from the events of that night. But my daily pain is my daily reminder of everything that I have to be grateful for. And it is all of you. It truly does take a village. And I've been so blessed to be surrounded by so much love and support. And I have to save this last remark for the person who's been the most instrumental in building me into the athlete that you see in front of you today. And that's my father, Dennis Rajsich. Also, Coach Winterton, you've very much been like a second father to me, and you know that. Not grandfather, not yet. But I appreciate all the ups and the downs that we've had, all the fights where we came out beaten and bloodied, and all the ones that seem to kind of slide through like silk. So in closing, I will just say thank you for this tremendous honor. I want to make sure that this induction is not about me. It's not just about me. It's not about those numbers. It's not about that bio. It's about everyone who has surrounded me my entire life to help me get here. Thank you.
What an amazing journey, and so much to be proud of as a pro athlete. And it's my understanding Rhonda is writing a book about her journey. So we will all be very much looking forward to it, myself included, to read that when it comes into print. So we're looking forward to that, Rhonda. Our next candidate, number 80, is coming to us in the contributor category, Mr. Scott Winters. And here to introduce Scott is John Faust. I am assuming you would like the podium also.
They brought the podium just for me. I made a promise that the walk-up wouldn't come off my time.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. I'm John Faust. So I've known Scott for quite some time, and I'm going to take out some of here. I'm not going to cry, I promise. I've known him back into the 70s, the 80s. I had a little section here about accomplishments, but I think they were pretty much covered. So one of the things I did when I was asked to do this, which was a great honor, and when Scott asked me, I remember he looked at me and he said, "Hey, man, I have a question for you. You can answer it today. You don't want to." And I thought, oh, great. And so then he asked me if I would present him into the Hall of Fame. What an honor. Of course I would. So I reached out to a number of players and asked that they provide short little clips. I'm going to paraphrase on some of these, but a contributor. Scott's going in as a contributor, and that sounds like a small word, but it just encompasses a lot of things. Scott is truly a contributor. He was a player, he was on the board, he just did all these things. So I reached out to a few people, and again, I'll paraphrase. So Michelle Gould. Scott was an incredible man to work with Echelon. His passion for the sport and integrity and the work made things so easy. His endless support helped me keep playing at a high level until I retired to start a family. I'm very appreciative of everything he did and the friendships we built. It's a well-deserved honor. Dave Ellis. We all know Dave and John. Scott headed up the junior program in Southern California. At the same time, I was working with Northern California juniors. Our kids would travel and play at each other's tournaments. Scott and I would compete against each other. Our programs were both successful. Scott and I played competitively. He won more times than not. We enjoyed each other's company and forged a lifelong friendship. Ruben Gonzalez, we know Ruben. I've known Scott for several years, since his time working in San Diego before he moved to Princeton, New Jersey, and we became great friends. He always had my back, especially when I needed help negotiating my contract. A great person, always fair and always there for you. Hank Marcus, I think most of you know Hank. Scott spent his entire life in our sport as a leader and supporter of everyone. Scott was a visionary in the sport, seeing opportunities to promote and grow the game. What makes him stand out is he acted on these ideas. He cared, and that's the greatest compliment that can be given. Rocky Carson, I don't know if he's here. Scott had a big influence on our sport and my career. He gave me my first sponsorship through Ridgecraft. He also supported me throughout my professional career at Echelon. It was special to have shared these moments. I love the vision that he's had for both indoor and outdoor racquetball. Derek Robinson. Scott was extremely influential in the sport of racquetball. His commitment to growing the game and lasting impact on players through his leadership at Echelon touched so many. Freddie Ramirez, I'll just say this. Freddie said he was truly a good man, which really sums Scott up. Andy Roberts, I'm going to skip some of this. I will say this. Scott's greatest strength was always his ability to rise above the politics that often surround racquetball and invest meaningfully in the initiatives that mattered. What ultimately makes Scott a legend is not just his design, vision, or business success, but his unwavering commitment to use his position to advance the sport. I'm getting close. Adam and Erica Mania, because that's another thing. Scott bridged from way back to the current day. So Adam and Erica Mania. As kids growing up, the concept was simple. We wanted to play with fire. You gave us our first opportunity and saw the potential that we could be. Thank you for all you have done, not just for us Manias, but for all the athletes you saw potential in. We're still an Echelon family. We still play with fire. So in conclusion, I would say this. If you listen to the words that are being said by all of these people, and I know Ed was going to say something, and anything I've said here, Ed echoes all of these things and more. The things that come out is integrity, passion, love of the sport, appreciation, communication, dedication, sincerity, vision, graciousness, loyalty, and a genuine love for racquetball. Which begs the question, out of all these people, how is it I'm the one that's presenting him into the Hall of Fame? If it's a mystery to you, it's a bigger mystery to me. And I'm very honored. I can say this, that Scott and I have supported each other through the years. He stepped up for me during very difficult times. I did the best I could to step up for him. He treated me in the same way he did so many others, with integrity, class, and grace. He lives in the Denver metro area. Everything's come full circle. Now we're just friends, and we can hang out. And I'll leave with this. We're all nobodies at some point in life. We grow to be who we are, with some having aspirations higher than others. That can be a tough climb. When you least expect it, someone steps forward, offers the helping hand, and helps us achieve our goals. Scott, by virtue of everything that he did, that's Scott. And with that, I would like to say, Scott, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Thank you. And get a good look, because you'll never see Jim and I in sport coats again. Maybe not true. But we were both surprised. Thank you.
I guess I didn't get the memo on the white shirt, so I guess I'm a member of the Blue Blazer Club today as well.
You got a big run.
Wow, John, great job. I mean, when you're the kind of guy like me that doesn't really like to talk about himself too much, you get a guy like John Faust to introduce you. And what a job he did. How about it? For those of you who don't know John, he's a former member of the U.S. team. He has he's one of the great historians of the game. He's got a Classic Racquetball Facebook page. You got to check it out. He's been a great long-time friend for a long time. So, John, thank you for everything that you've done, and thanks for making the trip out and introducing. Thanks for the show. Bruce Adams, are you here? I guess he's not here, but he put together the show. Oh, he did not. Oh, sorry. Okay, so. Okay. Oh, wow. What an introduction. Good morning, everybody. Before I get into it, I've got a few stories to tell, a few thank yous and so on, but I just wanted to congratulate Rhonda on her Hall of Fame induction. We go way back. You may not remember this, but I think I first met you Junior Worlds, Miami Lakes. I was sitting there with your dad. My shift was over as working the tournament desk, and I was having a beer with your dad, Shock, right? And I'm talking to him, and there's this kind of look away from him, and he goes, "What are you looking at?" I said, "There's this kid over there shooting basketballs, and she's like this high, and she's not missing." And Dennis says, "Hey, come on over here." He's yelling out at you. You come running up. "It's my daughter, Rhonda." You said hi, turned around, ran right back. That's the first time I met you. I don't know, that was mid-'80s or something. Long time ago. But very, very cool that I get to be inducted on the same day as you. I think we signed Rhonda at Echelon in 2005, and she went right to number one. So, and held that spot for several years. And so I got to say, thanks for making us look good. Great job. Always also wanted to thank my longtime friend and business partner, Charlie Hauser. Charlie couldn't be here today. We own a company together, and he has to work today, so I get to be here. But Charlie nominated me for this great honor, and wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Charlie. Charlie's a longtime supporter of racquetball. He was on the board for the Women's Pro Tour for many years. He's owned and operated several racquetball clubs. He's been a great supporter and a great age group player. So Charlie couldn't be here, but thank you very much for making this day happen. Also want to thank the USA Racquetball Hall of Fame Committee and the board for voting me on. This is a tremendous honor, and it's pretty surreal because I served on the Hall of Fame committee for 10 years, I believe, under Jim Easterling. So for me to be up here with all the people that I helped get into the Hall of Fame is great. And the whole process is, I want to thank Todd Boss, Jim Easterling, for the great communication and helping me get here today. So thank you guys for making that happen. I have to say that it's a little tough to figure out what to say today after over 40 years of being in the sport. If Rhonda was in it for 80, I guess I'm 280 into the sport. Started a long time ago. I have several chapters of being involved in the sport of racquetball. But really, this process and this honor has given me something that I never expected. Because of this, I was able to look back on my career. I've never done that. When things ended for me at Echelon in 2015, I was with Echelon for 22 years, and things just kind of folded up. The brand just kind of went away. The sport was getting a little smaller. There really wasn't any opportunity for me. I never looked back because my next thought was, I got to look forward. You know, what do I do now? I need another job. I need to do something. So I immediately got involved in some things. I was able to keep my hand in racquetball a little bit. I immediately signed up at the local Lifetime Fitness Club and started teaching racquetball to keep my hand in the game. I worked with Momo and Formula Flow on helping him develop his product line. So that was great for me. But really, thank you, USA Racquetball, for making this happen. It's made a huge impression on me. I can't thank you enough for this honor. I guess I'm number 80, which is cool. For me, it all started, you know, in looking back, how I got involved in racquetball. I wanted to be a pro baseball player. That's what I was all about as I was growing up. I was attending the UC Irvine. I was on the baseball team, and one of the things that the team is they get you jobs, you know, working on campus, doing various things, and the job they lined me up with was working at the racquetball facility. I had a really nice racquetball building, 6 courts, amazing place, and I would go after practice or game, and I would sit at the desk and tell people where to go, and I guess that's how I became a tournament director through that experience. Inevitably, students would come up, they'd ask me, how do you play this game? I would go down and I'd show them how to play, and they'd ask me to play with them, and you know, I got to play a lot, and I guess that's how I got into teaching racquetball. I really enjoyed telling people how to play the game, and it was a great experience. So one day I'm sitting in the dugout with a couple of my teammates, and I'm talking about racquetball, what a great game it is, and you know, geez, I just think it's a great cross-training sport. It's a lot of fun, and on and on and on. And so one of the guys says, well, I work at a racquetball club, and I get paid, and I get to play as much racquetball as I want for free. I said, wow, sign me up for that. That sounds great. So long story short, I went to the club where he was at. I got hired part-time through college, and when baseball wasn't there for me, kind of like Rhonda was into basketball, but racquetball was there for me. That job that I got at my first club gave me a clear direction on what I wanted to do, and it was racquetball, and really helped fill the void that was missing from baseball that, you know, I really wanted to, you know, continue my career in. But, you know, racquetball filled that void, and from there on, I never looked back. My whole career was racquetball. I worked at that club for several years, and then went on to work in several other clubs, each time sort of stepping up and getting to a bigger program. The last club I was at, Racquetball World, four facilities with over 100 courts. And I had full-time pros at every club. We ran tournaments every month, leagues, 20 to 40 leagues per club. I was teaching several days. I was teaching over 100 students how to play the game of racquetball. What a great experience. Ed was there. He was one of the pros at one of the clubs. So, you know, the club, my club background and so on taught me so much about developing relationships. And while I was continuing on in the club scene, I really got involved with the national governing body, which was the AARA then. I don't know how many of you know AARA, but it's now USA Racquetball. So I think I did just about everything you can do with that organization at the time. I think you saw most of the things, so I won't go over them all. But what a great experience. The sport was thriving. The sport was growing. There were so many things that I was part of. You know, I can't thank Luke St. Ange and Jim Heiser, who were driving the organization then, for having the confidence in me and allowing me to be on their team and making some great things happen in the sport. A lot of it was volunteer, but I didn't care. It was fun. We were doing some great things together, so that was awesome. After that, I got into the sporting goods world, went over to Richcraft, which is a racquetball only company. We were able to do some great things there. It was a new company. We did some sort of fresh, new, very colorful things. We were definitely a brand that was turning some heads. We had Dan Obremski and Karen McKinney representing us on tour, two very classy Hall of Famers. So fortunate to get to know them. And we also had an up-and-coming team, John Ellis, Alan Engel, Eric Mueller, several others that formed our next-gen team. And that was a lot of fun. We did some great things. We were one of the last companies to make rackets in the USA, which was a great experience. That brought on several moves, 1, 2, 3 moves with that company. Ended up in Miami. After that, I went to Astusa and formed a new company there. They were primarily a tennis and squash company. I came in, became their national sales manager, and developed a racquetball line. Both those experiences were a little short-lived, unfortunately, but I learned a lot, and the biggest break of my sporting goods career happened after that, where Prince Sports, which owned Echelon, brought me in to help transition Echelon from San Diego to New Jersey. And that was quite a challenge, working in a very big tennis company, 500 employees, big, huge campus, #1 global brand in tennis and squash. And I came in, I was the only person that knew anything about racquetball in the whole building. So it was quite a challenge, but a great run. After that, I worked with Head, the good folks at Head, for a couple of years, and had some good experiences there with Doug Ganem, and Sudsy was there, obviously. And when Echelon asked me to come back, made me and my family a really great offer to come back. I did, and that was a great run up till the end. And I think that was the most fun that I had at Echelon, because I was able to put together a great support team, that kept us on top. Any market share that we lost, during the move and so on, we were able to get back, and putting together a team with Dave Peck, Andy Roberts, Brian Crosser, who's here, Amy Roller, John Ellis. Those guys kept us at the forefront of being at the top with our pro staff, which was awesome. In addition to Rhonda, who became #1, we had Ruben, the legend. We did a lot of marketing around Ruben. He was great. Kane played for us, became #1. Rocky went to #1 with us. Paola. It was all due to them, bringing that team together. And not only that, but we had Mike Franks, who developed an online system to manage our whole player program. And of course, Hank Marcus. Hank Marcus and I were able to develop several organizations together, the police, association, firefighters, military. We partnered up with NMRA, and we formed and co-founded World Outdoor Racquetball, which is doing really well today, and it's great to see. We developed several balls, new balls in the process. One thing I'm most proud of that group is that we helped grow the game. It wasn't just about us. It wasn't about market share. We did what we could to grow the game, and really working with that group. I guess sort of in closing, I wanted to thank my two good friends here who came from California to be with me here today. The support that they gave me in the past was amazing. Was honored to introduce Ed Andrews into the Hall of Fame in 2009, and all the things that I was doing in racquetball, he was right there to help support. And no matter what I asked him to do, play an exhibition, help me with a program, develop a junior program, whatever it was, he always said yes. And you know, being a top pro, he never asked for anything back. So, I mean, that's a true friend. So, Ed, thank you for everything that you did. Chuck was the same. Chuck West, he built an outdoor racquetball court for me. We did it in his backyard. We put it on Venice Beach. We filmed it. Sean Royster produced it. It was, if you haven't seen it, it's called The Battle of the Beach, and it's on YouTube, and you got to check it out. It's like nothing you've seen in racquetball. Rhonda was there, she played. Michelle was there, she played. Brian, I think you might have been there as well. But Chuck made it all happen, and that outdoor racquetball court is the prototype for other courts, including the ones that are part of the three-wall event in Vegas that Mike Coulter runs. So thank you, Chuck, for everything. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. So in closing, I'd like to say, wow, what a long career. A lot of moves. I think 5 cross-country moves during my career, all for racquetball. And I couldn't have done it without my family supporting me. And they're here today. And over here I have my son, Daniel. I think he lived in 3 major cities in the first 4 years of his life, at least. But Daniel used to play some junior racquetball as well. Daniel, here, love you. My daughter and her family, Vanessa, and her husband Reed, standing back there. And our granddaughter Quinn, who I'm honored to say is named after my middle name, Quinn. 5 years old, just turned 5. Guys, I know it wasn't very convenient to be here today. Thanks so much for making the effort. Appreciate it. And last but not least, of course, my wife, 47 years. Soon to be 48 in a couple months. She was there from the beginning, right back in the beginning days when I started playing racquetball, going to tournaments, sleeping in vans in the parking lot, and beach racquetball all over the place. She was the one who put up with all the moves. I say 5 cross-country moves. There's a lot more to it than that. Quite a few more stories, but she was the rock. She was the one that held it together. She deserves this award as much as I do, so I share it with her. Julie, I love you. Happy Valentine's Day. And yeah, just thank you, USA Racquetball, Charlie, John, awesome, and And hey, thanks all of you for coming this morning, and most of all, thanks for keeping the sport alive.
Well, that's a tough act to follow right there. You know, I realized while I was standing and listening to these absolutely very amazing stories that I know many of you in this room. There are also many of you I don't know. And as my husband often points out to me as I'm sharing something crucial and important, he's like, maybe you want to start at the beginning of the sentence and not the middle, and then maybe I'll understand what you're saying to me. So let me start at the beginning. My name is Kristen Watts. I am the president of the board of USA Racquetball, where I did not share that with you earlier, for those of you who don't know me. Now you do. My friends will probably exchange Christmas cards. I would love to say a few thanks to myself. Things like the Hall of Fame breakfast and the National Indoor Singles and Doubles Tournament do not happen in a vacuum. It requires a lot of energy and effort. I would love to call out our USA Racquetball board members who happen to be in the room, starting with, please stand, Miss Sandy Rios. Moving on to Ms. Cindy Tilbury. And never to be forgotten, Mrs. Cheryl Kirk. But I will tell you also behind the scenes is our very favorite ex-board member, Mrs. Karen Grizz, who has chosen to join us today. And I would love to call out a couple of our volunteers who, without the volunteers at this tournament would not happen. As we all know, USA Racquetball board, staff, etc., volunteers. And without people's time and talent, we would not be able to have things that we are having this week. I would love to call out Miss Terry Rogers, Miss Nydia Funes, Coach Jen Meyer. We have Steve Watts over there who, whether he wishes to volunteer or not, somehow gets voluntold what he will do to participate. And for our AV, we have Mr. Pablo Farre back in the back. I would also love to thank Brandon and Keaton, who came to help with the filming of Rhonda's induction, and they have been awesome to work with. I would love to thank Ariel 9 Videos for doing the videos that were presented here today, and they will be out on Facebook, listen to me, I apologize, YouTube, not technologically savvy. They will be on YouTube shortly, so for any of you who wish to say, hey, here's what I did for my weekend, let's watch this video, they will be available on YouTube. I also want to give a shout out to Mr. Keith Miner for his gracious donation in support of this breakfast. I hope that you guys and everyone in the room will come join us over at the ASU Sun Devil Rec Center today and tomorrow. We have the qualifying men's and women's doubles finals tonight at 5 and 6 p.m. and the qualifying women's and men's singles finals tomorrow morning at 10 and 11 respectively. You want to see some great racquetball, guys? Take a walk across the street. We hope you will come. It is amazing. And the things that Rhonda and Scott both spoke about today, you will see in action over there. You will see the next generation of Hall of Famers playing over there. I would, in closing, like to one last time ask that all members of the Hall of Fame, past and present, please stand up for a round of applause and appreciation. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you over across the street. Thanks.